It is amazing to me how peaceful people can be in the strangest of places. 17 years ago, Mandy and I were waiting on our first child to be born at Christmas. He actually made it before the January delivery date, coming in on the 31st for a tax deduction that we were all very thankful for. He lived for a few hours in that year, but we got total credit. But at 1 month old, one of Ben's first church trips, church duties, was going with me to the youth group Super Bowl party. 2 speakers about the size of this pulpit flanked a large youth space. 40 to 60 teenagers ran in and out of the room between that and the gymnasium next door, with the game blaring, people yelling, food everywhere, adults telling people to be quiet while they're speaking over each other louder than the kids. And there was my friend Amy, one of my sponsors, 25 years old, yelling just as loud as the kids, with Ben sleeping in her arm. Kid was out cold. It's amazing how peaceful we can be in the most chaotic of moments. It's amazing how people can find peace. If you look sometimes at the mall, you will find an older gentleman sitting on a comfortable bench, his eyes closed as the world goes around him, rapidly running from store to store as he waits on a partner to finish trying on one more thing. And in the chaos of the season, he gently closes his eyes, leans his head down, and naps in the middle while cheesy Christmas carols blare over the speaker. It's amazing how we can find peace in the calm. In the midst of a storm, thunder and lightning, how many of you are the one in your family who sleeps through it like the weather is a lullaby and the rain beating down for some is a gentle rhythm of relaxation for you? It is amazing where we find peace. And I think our story today fits well into that category. Mary is visited by an angel, and after a few questions, she seems perfectly at peace with whatever is to come. Mary is surprised by the greeting. She even uses the line, "I wonder what type of greeting this might be." I think partially she was surprised by the angel, but partially the angel seemed to be kissing up. Did you notice? "Mary, you are favored among mortals. You're such a good person." And Mary had to be thinking, why is an angel kissing up to me? It should go the other way around. What's coming after this? Remember, Mary is a teenager. They recognize BS a mile away. Mary is surprised by the greeting, not used to talking to angels, and she's confused by the promise of what this baby might be and how that can happen while she's still a virgin. And how is it good news? What town is this angel from where being an unwed virgin teen is good for your reputation? Mary's confused. But at the end of their conversation with the angel, she says, "Okay, here am I, a servant of the Lord. May it be so according to your word." She may have been surprised and confused, but she also seemed at peace. Surprisingly, she seemed at peace. I don't know about you, but I would get no sleep after this moment. At all. It didn't matter how long I binge watched a really boring show. It didn't matter how much I meditated or breathed. No sheep are around to count that would equal up to this encounter. I would be disturbed from the occasion, but Mary seems at peace. Of course, peace is an often misunderstood concept. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but keeping our balance in the midst of it. It's not the elimination of our differences, but mutual respect with our differences. Peace is not living without tension, but being okay regardless of the outcome. Peace is a state of being, not a state of war. It's an internal reality, not a political victory. Peace is something we find, not something that happens to us. One of my professors and retired pastor, Larry Paul Jones, told me a story when I was interning with him one summer. He told me about the most upset family he had ever had in his office. Their father had died. Larry Paul had been with them at the hospital as the man was trying to recover from another illness. He went in and sat with him one-on-one, and the old gentleman said, "My family's scared to death, but I'm okay. God and I've talked, and I know this is the end of the journey. I'm ready, and it's all right." What's surprising is this came on the heels of Reverend Jones praying that God would heal him. He had prayed a prayer of hope for the man. He had prayed a prayer of encouragement, a pep talk in the eyes of God, if you will. But the man heard what he needed to hear. He ignored all the words spoken and found comfort and solace. The family who had encouraged the pep talk prayer came to the pastor's office later and he said, "Dad said you gave him permission to die." He said, "I did not. I prayed with him, and instead of hearing me, he heard God. He's at peace, even if we are not." Peace can be a difficult thing to find and an even harder thing to hold on to in a time when politics comes before our nationality or even our humanity. How can we find peace? In the face of racism, how can we find peace? In the face of war and death, how can we be at peace? But peace is something we can find in the crowded mall, in the frightening storm. Peace is something we can find after years of anger and hurt in a relationship. Peace is something we can find deep within ourselves. But how can we work for it until we find it for ourselves? How can we work for peace between those who are hurting when we haven't found peace in our own heart? How can we work for peace between different ethnic groups when we've yet to name our own bias? How can we work for peace in our world when our minds and hearts are filled with chaos and confusion? It seems to start with self-reflection. Peace seems like a goal that's out there somewhere, something we work on with other people, and it can be, but after we've done the work on ourselves. As much as we make fun of all the pageant contestants. And what do you want? I want world peace. What's your one wish? World peace. What do you hope for the future? Oh, world peace. And that's just the first three contestants. But as much as we make fun of it, that's how it starts. It's a wish. It's a dream. It's a prayer deep in our hearts. And then we go about the work of creating it. But it has to start with something we desire to have. Do we think Mary was just randomly selected by God? Do you think Gabriel made a good guess on which kid in town to show up to in the middle of the night? God found a young woman who knew peace. She was well-grounded, spiritually mature. She was comfortable in her own skin. She knew peace. How? We have no idea. This is one of those things in Scripture where we would love to hear the rest of the story. Was it good parenting? A loving community? Great mentors? Probably. But also probably some self-reflection, time in prayer, honesty and humility. The tools for building peace inside. Now let's be honest, this all sounds easier to do than it is. Coming to terms with reality, facing doubts and fears, wrestling with our past, trusting God with our future. That's hard work. That is hard work. Seeking peace is hard work before we ever get involved with another person. And we know how complicated that gets, but the hardest work of peace is laying the foundation. It's looking within our hearts and doing the hard work, the heart work. I wonder where you are still looking for peace this season. What hurts still need healing? What relationships still need mending? What truths still need facing? what questions still need an asking. We can't always fix our hurts, but we can understand them. We can't mend every relationship, but we can do our part towards forgiveness and a hope of reconciliation. We can't always find the answers to our questions, but we can ask, we can ponder, we can seek, and find the growth that comes from the asking. Sometimes, instead of answers to our questions, we simply become at peace with them. Mary had no idea where her journey would take her. From the bedside chat with an angel, Mary had no possibility of knowing how it could end. Now, she probably had some ideas of where it might lead. She got to talk to an angel, after all. I love the song that Bob sang this morning. A friend of mine had a snarky response to it. Anne said, "Mary, did you know?" And if we actually listened to her, she would say, "Yeah, I talked to the angel. Welcome to the party, church splainers." Mary had been there, and she was ready. Ready for the mystery, ready for the possibilities, ready for something beyond her control and beyond her understanding, ready to play a role in the world in a way she never imagined, ready for the world to play a role in her life that she did not choose, ready to expand her understanding of God and love. She was ready to expand her understanding of God and love. She was ready to receive a gift. And she was at peace. As we look at our own hurts, our own biases, as we dare to ask our own questions, as we dare to explore our own doubts and fears, as we do that hard heart work within us, may Mary be our guide. May Mary be our guide. And may this strong, insightful, old soul of a teenager show us what it looks like to look for peace within, that we might unwrap one of the true gifts of Christmas. Amen.